Stephen Sawton was 16 and Jordan Cunliffe just 15 when they kicked Gary Newlove to death outside his Warrington home. At 18, Adam Swellings was the only one of Mr Newlove's murderers who was allowed to buy drink legally, yet they'd all been drinking heavily before the attack. So what can be done to stop teenagers drinking? Well, here at Harrop School in Little Hulton, pupils have made a DVD about the dangers that alcohol can bring, and they're hoping to get the message through.
I think that they pay attention to us more than adults because it's more like our age group talking to them, and it's like the peers talking to them, not adults shouting at them.
We'd sadly lost one young lady due to alcohol drinking, and it was, I think, horrific for the school community, but at the same time important messages needed to be given to all of our young people about what happens when you are under the influence of alcohol.
Well, I think it's very difficult when, as happened with the young people who murdered Mr Newlove, that their violence is fueled by drugs and alcohol. Certainly the police are saying that drink has to be dealt with. The police do not have the resources to deal with the amount of drunkenness among young people that they're having to deal with week in and week out. And I think, I take that from the police. I mean, clearly there are questions in the Warrington case about bail conditions, and I think that's for the criminal justice system to answer. But for all of us, I think if we deal with alcohol, if we take alcohol out of the equation, then I think that's a very good thing to do. And certainly it does seem to have been a big factor in fueling the violence of this particular group of 3 young men.
You said that the police need more resources. Is that what you want the government to give them?
Well, the police don't have the resources to deal with an escalating level of drunkenness, is what they've said. But I mean, actually, we don't, for a whole variety of other reasons, want an escalating level of drunkenness anyway. I personally, as a local MP in Worsley, don't want to see young people having the other health effects of alcohol. So it's not a question of piling more police resources into it and letting people get drunk every weekend. The sensible thing is, if we deal with the drink problem, as they are really hoping to do and working to do here through the DVD that the young people have produced.
You mentioned yourself that the amount of drink that young people are taking these days has gone up quite considerably in the last 10 years or so, 10 years in which there has been a Labour government. What can the government do about that? Is the government doing anything about it?
Well, there's a great deal of investment. I mean, there are operations that the police are undertaking. The police have supported this project here. The police are working with groups of young people, working with schools, working with communities. But at the end of the day, I think there's some questions for young people themselves and their families about drinking.
When you were under 18, did you ever drink?
Yeah.
Did you ever get drunk?
Yes. I think that the issue, as Barbara has talked about, is that when you do have access to alcohol, it's about whether or not your use of alcohol is done in moderation, or indeed whether it's done in terms of monitoring. I think the issue is how you learn from those. It's the people who say they get horribly drunk, I'm never going to do that again. There's an issue, I think, when you're a teenager, when you're going through a process of experimentation.
Drunkenness among teenagers happens probably in every family at some stage or another. It's always been that way, hasn't it? You can just think about you and Blair, age 16, done for being drunk and disorderly in 2000. Every family seems to be affected by this. Is it something we just have to sort of say, well, this is just part of growing up?
I think it's part of growing up to try alcohol, and obviously from time to time you're going to try it in ways that will upset you or make you sick, and we saw that in the DVD. But I think the key thing is to learn the lesson, and I think that's why this DVD is so good.
A few of my friends through school have seen the DVD and they think, wow, I didn't really think that could actually happen, and they have stopped drinking on the streets and things like that, and they have cut down, yeah.
This DVD film has been so well received, it's now going to be shown in schools throughout Salford and the rest of the country. Richard Butt, Channel M News.